The nameless bookstore. The shambler turned out to be much more than an art piece. A huge creature came from the painting and attacked Pierce. After a hard fight and dying multiple times, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Drake, owner of the nameless bookstore. That's the name of the store Pierce decides to pay a visit. Intro madness. The glass is broken.
Where is the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Interesting. Classic Freud.
An old diary.
Paul declared himself to be a prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it told truth. Is it Cthulhu? Is he being called to by Cthulhu? Darkwater history. A colony led by John something or other in the 17th century. Island Darkwater because of dark shades of the sea. They believed it's rocks surrounding the island, but it was really a creature circling the island. Dun, dun, dun. Sir, are you alright? Oh. Medicine increased. What's behind you? A safe with an occult symbol on it. And a crowbar. Can I pick up the crowbar? No? Why can't I get that? I need to somehow move the painting, but it won't let me move the painting. Never mind. I'll continue on for now. Interesting books I can read while
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
Interesting. Occultism. Medical book. Would you read this book?
What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
It's a creature. Collection of catalogs and classified creatures that I'd never heard of. Divination from the stars? Divinations from the stars? Creatures capable of travel from one dimension to another. It presents itself as the reference work of myth. But that's definitely what it took us, the Shambler. I don't understand.
What happened here?
One.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
They came in. They...
No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then?
He was hurt fleeing because of the safe.
What killed all these animals? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Probably the symbol and all the dead bugs.
What the... Charles Hawkins?
There's a squid.
What's happening to Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe.
Hello? What am I looking at now? Oh, him over here.
Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
The burglary.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
So he finds these memoirs, there will never be serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she's still in this world. Following this message is a capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates something as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to the most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues in the combination are found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Instead, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that the reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find a combination to my safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents to the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage, in some university. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that's far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope they will be able to appreciate the danger that the recipient... Okay, I gotta find books.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
Apparently.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Who knows, you know? I gotta find some books, apparently. Oh my god.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
Written by Helena.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
So we got 4.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
6.
Arkham Editions.
7.
Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection?
5.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
1.
Arkham Editions.
3.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
2. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. So I have to actually read.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Collection of American folklore with urban legends.
Arkham Editions.
Translated and edited.
Never heard of
Collection
him.
Beliefs was written in legendary philosopher, immortal, popular text.
How many volumes are there in this
Text
collection?
claims distant past Europe and other continents were controlled by the mother and this people.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Translated, this volume's Arkham acknowledged luxury and trees work on supernatural.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
What the frick? What the frick frack patty whack? What was the clue? Open the safe. Oh, there's bookstore, the relationship, back room, the safe, Charles Hawkins, steal it. Oh jeez, clues. What? The key that bears the elder sign, the great one. I don't think that's it. Oops, I don't know, that's chapter. Nope. Okay. Case. Opening the safe. Okay. There's a lot more behind the story, like drama. She helped him. They hid it in the safe. Made strange tables. Oh god. Is that a book? That's 5. Well, there already was a 5. Are there other books in the store that I can look at? That's the Darkwater history. Volume 4. Oil. Okay. Books. 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 Where does one find some books?
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Is there a thingy phone in here? Drake cylinder 1. E.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
The chalice of knowledge.
What seems very interesting seems to be made of gold and decorations to real precious stone. The ruby sapphires?
Things are not looking good.
Okay, let's listen to another one.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
The Queen has little protection.
And then the last one.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Volume 9. Was there a volume 9? 7.
What did Drake say about this collection?
They love number 9. This collection of poems received in 1908. No.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
It was this
So
one.
these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
This volume is part of blah blah blah. Also known as the Nightmare Lyrics. This collection of poems received on the first published in 1908. It was only 18. 1908.
What did Drake say about this collection?
I don't know. 1908? There's only 3 things. Nah. It was only 18? So, what? 018?
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Yeah. 9. Number 9. Nope, I don't know.
So these are the volumes that Drake was... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Yes. Is there like a book called The Nightmare Lyrics that I have to find?
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed.
The chalice of
set in
knowledge.
divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Looking for the clues I need, but I'm so dumb. Let's go listen to the lost message again.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seems particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Did you get the volume wrong?
What did Drake say about this collection?
Because that's known as the Night Railers.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
It was the...
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular... So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about. What did Drake say about this collection?
He said number 9. That's the Roman numeral for 9.
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about
Edward
in his
Pickman
message.
Derby. Do I have any clues related to that? Nope. Jesus. Oh no, let's try. Nope. It ain't the devil's number. So he's got volume 9, so maybe the last one's number 9.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in...
The Chalice of Knowledge.
Chalice has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its
5
attraction.
red
I
things.
finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods.
5, 4, 9.
Let those of us who are still standing protect our white queen
Doesn't
from
work.
their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling,
5,
and my will strengthens
4,
as my apprehension grows.
9.
We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Do you have more than
The
5?
Chalice of Knowledge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's 1 again.
The Queen has little protection.
5, 3, 9? Fucking did it. 2 week ages.